All right, guys. Welcome to the first episode of Two Dope Souls Sound Healing Podcast. I'm Rachel,
I'm Leslie.
and we're just gonna talk about sound healing and how we got into it, and kind of how we just kind of incorporate it into our everyday lives and like the benefits we get just doing it for people.
Right.
You know, what do you got on that?
So I want to talk about how we kind of got into it. And I had bought this drum because I have this like thing where I have 5,000 hobbies and I just like do them for a little bit and then I have to move on to something else. But my latest one was a djembe drum, which I'm probably saying wrong, but it's spelled like D-J-E-M-B.
Is it the one that like stands, that standing one?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it kind of goes in the middle, so that I bought one of those because I thought it was beautiful and then it would be fun to play this little drum and that it would be easy, which, you know, I always think everything's going to be easy, but I mean, everything has its own little details. But
Yeah.
so I bought this drum and I wanted to go to a drum circle, which of course you decided you would go with me because
Yes.
whatever one of us wants to do, we're like, yeah, sure,
So
let's
it's
try it.
a funny thing about our friendship is Leslie just signs up for things and I'm just going. I don't get really a choice sometimes. It's just, this is what we're doing, and I say, okay, but it brings us into great things like this.
Well, I give you sort of a choice. It's kind of like, what do you think about this? And you're like, yeah, I could be down with that. And then I'm like, okay, good, because I already signed this up.
Yeah, see, yeah, it's just how it works. It works like that. But we were looking for drum circles is what we were originally doing, because we're like, anyone can go sit in a circle and hit a drum and make music, and that's what we call for fun. Like, and it was really hard finding one locally. That was the battle, right?
Yeah, they were out in Tucson or something.
Yeah, they were
so
far
it's too
from us. Yeah, but so then I was like, well, what about sound healing? And that's when we were able to find, shout out to Be Humble Wellness, because that's where we went down in Scottsdale for
Nicole.
Nicole, for our first session, just to kind of see what it was, and it was an experience for sure.
I had no idea what sound healing even was, so that was kind of cool, but I'm always like, whatever, let's just try it. I don't care what it is, let's try
See
it.
what happens.
I mean, as long as it's not like satanic or
Yeah.
something.
We're not doing drugs and partying
Right,
and things
right.
like that. We have our boundaries.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was, you know, I kind of did a little bit of research and I found that I had a lot of friends that were doing it, like out of state too. And so it was a lot of, hey, do you know if this person's good or stuff like that? And we just decided, you know what, let's find a day that we're both free and we're just going to do it. And that's how we ended up getting into sound healing, I guess, was.
We went in and had the same sound bath, but had completely different experiences.
Yeah, that's another thing. You do these sound baths and you do them together, and it's like one person, you don't know what's going on internally, and like one person is happy-go-lucky, another person can't move their head off the floor like you.
Right. And my expectation was, my brother passed away a few years ago and he lived in a different country at the time, and so I was really having trouble accepting that he'd passed away. It was, in my mind, I kept thinking, he's just in Costa Rica, so I couldn't really, like, it didn't sink in for me, and I haven't actually cried or anything like that, so I haven't mourned this. So it's something that I've been like kind of searching for years, is something to I don't know, give me that closure. And so that's what I had told Nicole when we started, that was really important to me. And for me, during my sound healing, I felt my brother next to me, and like I couldn't like actually see him, but I could feel his presence kind of like behind me a little bit, like
there.
Yeah. And so, and I knew it was him. And then I had another moment during the sound bath that I saw him sitting at a bar, which I hate to say, but like he liked his alcohol. And so he was sitting at a bar and he like turned and toasted to me, and then I looked across and there was another guy and he turned around and it was my grandpa, and they were very close. And so like that made me really happy that I felt like they were there together. And then of course my grandma was a server because she liked to serve everyone, and it was just such an amazing moment for me that I felt like, I don't know what this is, but I need more of this
that
in my
whole
life.
storyline that they showed you was just like, hey, come on, come see what this is about.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, the reason for that, this isn't like some weird thing I wasn't hallucinating or anything. It puts you kind of in that dream state where you're like almost asleep and you have weird dreams and you can't like remember if you're awake or asleep. So that's what causes that. It's not anything,
There's no drugs involved.
Right.
Like, what do they do? Like those peyote things?
Right.
It's not like that.
Total relaxation. So you're able to kind of open your mind up a little bit.
That same time that you had that experience was when I was over there floating. I felt like I was levitating off the ground, just having a great time. I didn't have an experience like that. I saw a lot of colors, which are associated with, energy sources, your chakras, whatever you are comfortable calling that. That was my first one, but I felt like a total of just overwhelming of I need to be doing this after. We went to lunch after, and I remember like we were both kind of in a weird daze, like, because like you come out from grogginess, right? You're coming out from like a sleep because you just got put into a deep meditation, and we're sitting there, and I remember just looking up at Leslie going, I feel like I need to do this. Like, I feel like I can do this. And she said, I do too. And, we were looking how to get certified, and it just so happened there were 2 spots left for the one that was coming up in a couple weeks, and we're like, okay, we're doing it. And
which was also with Nicole.
Which was also with Nicole. But it was funny for me, there was a lot of obstacles to get me to that training.
Right.
I have 3 kids and a husband and stuff, and there was a lot of basketball games and how we can't be in 2 places at one time, and I don't think I'm gonna make it, to where it all just lined up, like what they call divine timing. It all just lined up to where I was able to go. We were able to do, the whole certification, and when I was at the certification, you got 20 hours of sound healing in 2 days. So 20 hours sound healing, you get it. Most of them are like 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And 20 hours of sound healing, you're a zombie. I don't care who you are a zombie those 2 days coming out. And that was when I got to experience the feeling of, my mom passed away when I was 15. And I was in such a deep meditation that she was there with me. It's kind of like the same with Leslie and her brother. Like, I know that she was there. And I think that was like when I cried. It was the first time I cried during it, where it was like, oh my gosh, she was there. And then, I went into a forest, and it seemed like an Asian country that I was in, and just running through the forest, and my mom was there, and I don't know what, I was happy, we were good, everything was great, but it was just, it takes you into some weird places that it's almost like you don't think that would be your comfort spot. And that was my comfort spot, was running in Asia. Like, who would have thought?
I was in a forest that led out to a pink beach at one point. So, and a lot of it is kind of like when you dream and you think, why would I think that? Like, what does this even mean?
Right? Yeah,
but it was just so relaxing and almost like unexplainable. And even when we give sound baths to people afterwards, they're kind of just sit there like in a daze afterwards. Like, they're trying to figure out, like, I know this was really cool and I can't quite place it yet. And sometimes you'll find things like a week later that help you with that.
Yeah, so secret time, I just got one before we started recording. And I got up and I was still sitting there, like, trying to explain to Leslie, like, okay, this is what happened, but I'm like, I know there's more to come. Like, I know I'm gonna remember more. I don't know. I only remember what was just happening before I came back too. Like, yeah, it's really cool to hear everyone's experiences, and we always try to keep them for us too. Like, we don't ever share anybody's unless they're willing to share on their own and stuff. But just a lot of feedback that we've gotten in the short amount of time that we've been doing it. It's I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, comforting, I guess, to know that, like, we're really helping people.
Yes.
Like, it's insane.
We've had 2 different people in just a short amount of time say that this has been, you know, life-changing for them and made such a huge difference. And we've now had a couple kids do it who, you know, have anxiety, and, you know, their mom told me that their anxiety had lessened. And so that's really cool too. We don't do a lot of kids. It's hard for them to sit still, but
there's certain kids that we know in an age that we know are able to get in, lay still. That's really what it is. Like, just to be still and be quiet for that amount of time. It's hard for your kid. It's hard for adults sometimes. So, it's just crazy how many people we've actually really impacted in such a small amount of time. Like, that's awesome. That was our main goal.
Right. Not only getting this for ourselves, but there's literally nothing here in this area. So that was one of the things too that we thought, you know, we could bring this to Surprise. And that's a bird almost
flew into our head.
And let's talk about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give a shout out to my own gym. So my husband and I own Daboa Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and I'm a black belt. Rachel's a blue belt. We both love to compete. With competing comes some anxiousness and things like that. And so
sometimes.
Yeah. So we did try this out to see how it worked for our athletes, and we did one. Was it the day before or 2 days before?
Yeah,
the day before.
Jiu-Jitsu World League.
Day before a tournament, we had 24 people do this sound bath, and we kind of dedicated
more than half were competitors too.
Right. We dedicated it to finding like your flow zone and just getting in that relaxed moment and thinking about your match and flowing through it. And not to take any credit from my husband, I'm sure he'll listen to this. He works really hard on getting everyone prepared. But our competitors all said that they felt so relaxed and competed better than they ever have.
Yeah, it takes away that so I don't care who you are, okay? So I know I can't speak personally on anybody. I can only speak for myself, but you get that, maybe not anxious or nervous, but that nervous excited. Where like you still feel that adrenaline pump, no matter, maybe you're not nervous to go compete, but like you get that excitement. And that can drain you before a match, I feel like too.
An adrenaline dump.
Yeah, and so what we incorporated with that athlete sound bath was giving them that anxiety that they would feel with instruments that we play and utilize, like utilizing the gong and giving that anxiety and telling them like, now you're mat side, you're getting ready, like your time is up, like, and hitting and getting that anxiety feel. So by the time they go and compete that next day, they've already had that feeling of competing. They've already had that anxiousness. So now they know how to control it better. Yeah.
And with this also comes breathing techniques, which again are super important for not just jiu-jitsu, but all sports. But during jiu-jitsu, even in a match, if you know how to breathe properly, you can calm yourself down, you can slow your heart rate down, you sleep better, your body feels physically better after a sound bath, and you are 70% more open to learning new things and digesting, and that's really important for athletes as well. And it's really important to take an hour to yourself and do nothing and relax, because that's something we don't do as human beings.
No, we don't know how to stop. No. That's the problem. Is there's always, we can't just sit still and be in our thoughts. We have to keep going. Right. Because no one wants to be in their thoughts. It's scary. Nobody wants to be there.
Mine.
Right? And so this is, there's your hour of being able to sit, relax, and do what you want, and be in those thoughts, but controlled in those thoughts. Yeah. Right? So like there's that aspect of it too. Yeah. I know that since doing this, my training, I feel like I'm not as intense, like in good way, like not like my game is still there, but like I'm not as like I have to get this, because if I don't get this I fail type of like, I'm a blue belt, so we're at the times where it's like we have to do this right or nothing, we're never gonna progress kind of mindset.
And that doesn't go away at black belt.
Yeah, but it's a little more intense for us little baby blue belts over here, okay? And I feel like I've been able to, the breath work has been a big one for me with that. But you get into a bad position, you're like professor's watching, a white belt's on top of me in side control. That's it. Like, here's my belt, take it, I'm done, you know? And for me, it's been able to be like, that's all right, let's work out of this. Let's, you know, I take those breathing and I breathe, and it's able for me to just kind of flow and get into that mind of like, that's okay. Life's just still flowing and going. Like, I don't know, sound healing's been amazing for me.
I feel like my anxiety, my state of mind, I feel very relaxed, very relaxed all the time. But of course we do this, you know, every other day. We're using our sound bowls, so we're getting a little extra, but so sometimes I'm maybe a little too relaxed. I don't even know if that's a thing, but I feel good. I feel like it's really good for health, even like autoimmune, when you can get your body to relax and feel good. I mean, it's like they tell cancer patients, like, positive mindset, that's going to help you fight this. So it does help with health issues and mental health.
It does start in your head, because you know what you say, the words are powerful. What you say to yourself is how you see yourself. So if you're sitting there saying to yourself, I'm anxious, you know, you can take that minute, hit a 30-minute sound bath, bring that positivity back in, and you're like, I'm okay. Your body's like, oh, we're okay.
Right.
It's a big, it has power to it for sure. That's a big one. Other than that, I don't really, what else you got?
Let's shout out to our social medias.
Yes, so you guys can follow us. We have all the social medias. Facebook, Instagram. Not really on TikTok too much. Yeah, we're not too.
We do have a
on
website. It's twodopesouls.com.
Yes, and our Instagram is 2dopesouls, and our Facebook page is 2dopesouls. We're all in there.
You can book your sessions online on our website. You can buy tickets online to different events. We do have all of our events listed.
Yes, we do have a couple events for the next couple weeks, right? Like the end of April. Well, we have one this Friday, and then we have the 27th. Yes. I believe is another one. And anyone, it's to the public, so you don't have to be a member of DBOA. You can come in and, you know, do your event tickets and pay ahead of time and come in and get a session. Or if you want to do just an individual, you can book that too on our website as well.
We also do telehealth, so you can do it over the phone. We have a few people that do that.
We have a few that get the same benefits as if you're in person. I, you know, guinea pigged a little bit through the telephone, and it actually worked just as well. And I think almost maybe a little bit better, because you put those headphones in and it's like, it's in there, like you're in your ears. And so we can do that too. Even if you're local and you're like, I'm not comfortable doing something, we can call you. We can do it over the phone too. Just get your first one out of the way like that.
We also travel. So we can also, one of the things we're hoping to do is get into some of the jiu-jitsu academies. So if you have a jiu-jitsu academy and you would love to have a sound healing session, hit us up for that as well. We'll give like a group price if you want to bring a big group out to it. So let's get into that. And in the next 2 weeks, we'll be going, if you are a jiu-jitsu girl and you're in the Arizona area and you are not going to the women's retreat, then
you're gonna miss out.
You're missing out.
We're
because
only
it's
on great
cool,
jiu-jitsu.
Yes, lots of female black belts, several world champion black belts will be teaching up there, doing some seminars. We're going to be doing 2 sound healing sessions as well, and I'm teaching 1 seminar.
Woo,
so
she's teaching.
That is through the Arizona Women's Jiu-Jitsu. I'm trying to think what their page
Arizona
is.
Women's Retreat, I think, is
Arizona
what it
Women's
is.
Retreat, and Sarah Black.
Give us some grace. We're working off a win here. We don't know.
Right. We don't have any notes.
We're trying. But yeah. If you, and they do them once a year too. So if you're a female jiu-jitsu practitioner, you should definitely go to one. They're fun.
Where's it at? Prescott.
Up in Prescott,
so it's a weekend in Prescott. All the food's included. Your stay is included. It's a cool thing. I mean, you pay $100 just to go to a seminar for an hour or two. So it's a really cool
worth
experience.
it, and you get to meet local other female jiu-jitsu practitioners, and you know there's no competition. I can't speak, like I said, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I enjoy meeting new people and learning different games and techniques. I think that's how you help grow yourself and just your connections too. So definitely get in there if you can. I don't know if it's closed or not, but
I don't know that it is. I think there's still space. But.
Get in there. But yeah, this was just, we wanted to come on. This is who we are. Kind of
share our
experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should do like a Q&A on Instagram, like if they do in the stories, like ask us a question.
Yeah.
And do that. Maybe we should do that so people can get a little bit more.
We'll do that.
We'll do that too. we'll get on there. But thanks for listening. Share this as much as you can if you guys enjoyed it. But yeah.
Have a dope day.
Have a dope day. Bye, guys.
I was watching this little bird drink out of a crack.